Hmm?
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah. So now, first of all, yesterday we completed, right? What? Yesterday we completed like what? All stages. One stage is still left. After ending of the like what our spring security, we will see that one, right? But the thing is, we divided in the multiple stages, right? Our spring security, like this, using ORM, right? What is that? See, user registration process also we completed. User login and password encoder also we completed yesterday itself only. What is that? Custom login and a
Custom
session
login,
management.
custom.
See, boss,
Yes.
actually yesterday I saw that, right? Some caches problem only was there. Once I shut down my system, right? And again I restarted my system now. Then so same application is working perfectly yesterday itself only. Nothing changes was there. Whatever we did like yesterday, programming, right? That programming only, nothing changes I did, but still that application is even in front of you people also, sometime that one is working, sometime that application is giving the problem, right? Hmm?
Yes, Ravi. Yes,
So
Yeah.
Ravi. We saw.
yeah, so that just only cases
Yes,
problem
Ravi.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, cases problem was there, nothing more than else. And what is that? Yesterday we started session management, right? And session manage something we will understand today also about the session management. But all concept, right? Four stages we completed, right? Last one is their CRF token view. That one will cover after end of the our spring security. But today we are going to start what is that JWT concept, right? JWT concept, and JWT concept also, yeah, very important, right? JWT concept also, yeah, very important. After then OAuth 2 I will start, right? OAuth 2 I will start. This one also industry industry standards, friends. Please be say, yeah, hi Manjulata, good afternoon. Please listen the session carefully. Wherever doubt is there, please ask me. I will clarify your doubts, right?
Yeah. Okay, Ravi.
Yeah, so today, but before starting what is that JWT, I will tell what is the stateless behavior in application, what is the stateful, right? First we will understand what is that, in which situation we are using what stateless, and which situation we are using stateful. And in if we are stateless, if our application is there in the stateless behavior, why requirement is there? JWT, right? So these things we are going to see in today discussion now, guys, in today discussion now. So let's begin our session now.
हेडफोन लगाने वाला बात
कहाँ पे हेडफोन लगाने वाला है भाई? Okay, so first we will understand what is that stateful authentication, right? First we will understand what is that stateful authentication. Stateful authentication. Stateful authentication. Okay, guys, so the last time we implemented what is that one web application, right? Web application, in that in that only we implemented security concept, right? Come on.
Yes, Ravi.
Yes,
Friends,
Ravi.
need response, because here if you guys are giving the response, then I can explain like the thing in the better manner, right? So the thing is, just give the response only, right? Based on your
Okay,
response, based on your responses only, I can deliver the subject, right? So here what is that, just as you yesterday application itself only. So this is the server, right? This is the server application. This is the server. In that server, what is that, our application is running now, right? Our application is running now. Okay, so and here what is that, who is the involved? Just this is the client computer, right? Client computer is nothing but yours computer, laptop only, assume that, right? So this is what is that, in that laptop, what is that, browser is there, right? Browser is
right.
there. Here what? Browser is there, right? So this is the client machine. Browser, and what is that? Here end user is there, right? Here end user is there. Nowadays I'm seeing one more person in our session active, right? That is the Jagdish. Let's take Jagdish, right? Here Jagdish is there. Okay, good. See Jagdish, I'm creating your like photo. Okay, see how you are looking like in the photo in the real world.
Wonder.
Yeah, this is the Jagdish, right? Okay, Jagdish.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so end user. This is end user, right? End user. Don't worry, just I created, right? So I know that whenever we will take your photo, right, it's look like you are looking like so good. But what I can do, I'm not a good artist now. So here what? Here dancing Jagdish. No, yeah. Okay, so here browser is there. So just assume that, right? Assume that. So here what is that? Jagdish is making the request to whom? Our application, right? Jagdish is making the request to whom? Our application. Whenever he is making that, oh, sorry for that. Here login page is there, right? Here login page is there. In that login page, what is that? He's filling username and password, and whenever he's clicking on this button, right, login button, right, login button, then what will happen? What will happen means if credential is successfully means what is that?
Valid,
Sorry.
valid credentials. Sir.
Yeah,
It's
so
valid credentials.
yeah, as Jagdish, whenever the Jagdish is putting the valid credential, okay, just assume that j@gmail.com or his password is 123, means what is that? Whenever he is hitting that, our his this application is validating this end user is valid or not. This end user is valid or not, right? Valid or not, that is called what? Authentication or not, guys? Come on, that is called authentication only, not, right? That is called authentication. Means what is that? Whenever he's making the request, right, whenever he's making the request, one memory will create. That memory name is what? Context memory. Context memory is nothing but one session will create, right? Come on, one session is creating or not? Come on, yesterday we saw that, guys.
Yes.
Yes, Ravi.
Right, one session will create, right? One session will create. What the session is doing now? What the session is doing now? Session is remembering his what? His session is remembering his details are not, login details are not, until unless he is not logged out this application, right? Until unless he is not logging out. Till now his login credential is stored in the session memory or not, friends? Come on, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Ravi. Yes, yes.
Then
The logo will be there.
yeah, so then we can say until unless we are not logged out, right, till the application is remembering his credential, that is nothing but what? Stateful things are not, guys. Come on, that is nothing but stateful or not.
Yes, Ravi.
Yes.
Means here what how many things is involved? What things is involved? Browser and a server, right? Here what is that? Browser and a server involved, right? Because of that, what is that? In what is the server? Based on that request, based on that Jagdish request, what is that? One session will create. In that, whatever things he want to do, he can do it, right? He can log in and he can check our profile, he can check our balance, he can make the request, he can do anything. Once he logged out, means what is that? He is invalidating the session. He is invalidating the session, and what is that? Again he is getting the page, right? Then if again he want to again he want to use his profile or application, then what he need to do? He again he want again to log in, na? Come on.
Yes, Ravi.
So again he want to log in, so means remembering his data till login to log out, that is nothing but what? Stateful behavior. That things is nothing but what, friends? Stateful behavior, right? Come on.
Got it. Got
right?
Yes.
So yeah, so here what is that? Just stateful is what is the stateful authentication? Storing in the user, right? In the user, storing in the user details, at server side, right? Server side as a HTTP session on login, right? On login successful. See boss, when the session is created, when he's login successfully, then only, right, his credential is stored in the session memory. Na, come on.
Yes, Ravi.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah, so that is means what? The simple things, friends, just simple things what means what? If anybody are asking, right, what is that? What is the stateful, right? Is what is the session stateful? Means what? Storing data, right? Data of end user, in the user as a what? As a session state. Yes, as a session, that is called what? Stateful. That is called what? Stateful. Then what is the stateless? What is the stateless, and where we are using the stateless? That is also question. Come on, that
Yeah.
is also question or not? Okay guys, so whenever we are developing, right, whenever we are developing distributed application, in the distributed application, what is there? Two servers are involved, right? Two servers are involved there. Here what is that? Here what is that? End user is nothing but client, and what is the server involved, right? That's why what we can able to what? Store end user data in the server side as a session memory, right? Come on, as a
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ravi.
session memory. But
Yes,
what
Ravi.
is that? But whenever we are developing distributed application using what? Using REST or web services, using web services, in this case what will happen? Two servers are included, two servers will be there, two servers is communicating. Here what is that? Browser and server is communicating, right? Browser and server is communicating. But in the case of web services application, what? Two servers are communicating to each other, right? Two servers are communicating to what? Each other, right? So just
Yeah.
assume that server one, and what is that? Server two. What is that? Server 2 is there, right? So if this server, right, if this server want to communicate this one, what is that? Authentication required here, right? Authentication required. 1 minute. Authentication required, because this application service class will connect with this server service class, right? This server service class. And here what is that? Here this server will get the response, right? Response.
Yeah.
So here what is that? Here this application context memory will create here, session memory will create here, this application session memory will create here, right? And here what is that? But this memory will create for what is that? This application client browser, not for server client, right? Server client. In this case what? One will become what is that? Consumer, and this one will become what is that? Producer. This one will become producer. Who will become producer? Who is the giving the services? Who is the giving the services? To whom? Consumer. And who is the consumer? Who is the consumer? Who is the consuming the services? To someone else, right? Who is the consuming the services? From the someone else. Just assume that, guys, between us only, right? Just what is that? I'm giving the services, my services, right? Microservices kind of session I'm giving to you people or not? Come on, yaar.
Yep.
Yes, Ravi. You are the producer.
So
Yes, Ravi.
I'm a producer, means what? I'm giving what? Microservices session to you people, and you guys are what? Consumer,
Consuming
right?
the services.
And the
Yes.
same time,
Yes. We are
same thing analyze here also, friends, right? So in the real time, producer can only one, and a consumer can be multiple. Consumer can
Yeah.
be multiple. Like how, just assume that I'm only one Ravikant who is the giving the services of microservices in this current session. Nah, come on. And what is that? How many people is learning now in my with my session? See this, right? So these are the same, like you guys are consumer and you guys are multiple consumer. And what is that? I'm only one producer here, right? I'm producing my services to you people or not, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, Ravi. Yes.
right? So
Yes, Ravi.
in this situation, what will happen in this situation here? What? Just this application need, what is that? His credential to log in, to login credential. Based on that, what is that? This application will make the request to this application, right? This application will make the request to this application, and after logging that, whatever requirement is there, that application will complete. Again, this one will give the result as a response, except that there is no concept data is to store in this server context memory, because here server to server communication is there. This concept is nothing but what? Because this is consumer server data is not store in producer server, right? Producer server context memory. That concept is nothing but what? Stateless behavior.
Stateless.
That concept is nothing but what? Stateless behavior, right? People are getting my point, what I'm explaining now, friends?
Yes.
So,
Noted.
hello.
Yeah.
So here data is not storing at the server or in level, means at consumer side.
Consumer side, just what is that? That's just consumer need. If the consumer want to communicate with this application, just assume that you guys are using book my show for the, like whenever you guys are going to theater, right? Just assume the book my show you are using, right? At the same time, what is that? Whenever you are paying, you guys are using phone pay, Google Pay, or Paytm with book my show application only, na? Come on.
Yes.
So just assume that whenever you guys are paying, that what will happen now? Book my show application is redirecting their services to what? Google,
Google Pay and Phone Pay,
Paytm. And after then, what is that? What you guys are doing now? You guys are doing that in our Google Pay or Phone Pay, and whatever your credential is, their username and password, right? You guys are clicking that. After then, what is that? Whatever amount is there, that amount you are selecting, and what is that? Proceeding that after amount successfully, what is that? Again, that request is redirecting to whom? Our book my show application, and there one ticket is assigning to you people or not. Based on that ticket only, you guys are going to what? Watch the film or not, friends? Come on, yaar.
Yes.
So in this kind of situation, just assume that if a consumer, if producer is remembering his, what is that, all information about, what is that, this book my show application details, then this here burden will be increased or not? What is the use of that memory? Come on.
Yes.
After completing that, see, after booking that, what is that? After completing phone pay request, right? Phone pay request, what will happen now? The request will come to this application, right? After then, what is that? This producer is not remembering what he that did. That history can store in his your Google account, but that data will not store, right? So after then, what is that?
Authentication details will not be stored.
Yeah. So means what is that? Then what is that? After returning that, the request, everything will be destroyed, right? Destroyed. But here in this situation, what's happening now? Here, after logging that, what is that? Till your application, whatever your roles and roles is there, based on that role, you are logging that. Unless you are not logged out this application, you can work in this profile, right? But here, what is that? After completing your task, right? till this application, just this application will give the services, right? After giving the services, then what is that? The things will destroy, right? The things will destroy. That things is nothing but what? Stateless behavior.
Yes, Ravi, got it.
Right? So now here what is that? No, here what is that? No HTTP session. HTTP session is created. His HTTP session is created in this case, right? In this case, no HTTP session is created. But the thing, but where we are using this concept, that is also matter na. Come on. So if your application is there like web application where the browser is involved, right? Where browser is involved in that, in this situation, what is that? Stateful things will be there. But whenever we are developing distributed application, right? Distributed application where consumer and a producer is involved. In this case what? In this case what? We are using what is that? Stateless behavior. By default HTTP is stateless only in this situation, right? So but what is that? Whenever we are developing what is that? Web services application, the thing is what is that? But the question is what? But where use but where is used no, but where we using, right? Using this concept, where we are using this concept, right? This concept we are using, this concept we are using is used for what is that? Web services. Web services application, right? In the web services application means what is that? Means what? Which application we can say web services application? Between what? Between two application, application running in two running in two server, running in what is that? Two server, right? Two server, right? What is that? Consumer has what is that? To get what is that? Verify here what? Just only need what is that? Whoever consumer, see boss, for phone pay, Google Pay, and like whenever we are using like book my show or like any application, right? For us, Google Pay services, using the Google Pay services is free of cost. But you know, for the book my show, right, this to giving these services is not free, right? Not free. They are paying the money to who's the producer, who's the providing the services to pay what? Google Pay kind of things, right? In the real time, right? Whoever provider is there, they are taking the money, then they are giving the services to any application, right? In the real time, what? Provider is taking so much money, then the provider is giving. Just you guys are anywhere, right? Anywhere you guys are going, that I'm using phone pay, I'm giving the money, right? But whoever provider is there na, who is the giving the provide services, those people is taking so money from that consumer application, right? So then like that businesses is happening. So see, our life is becoming easy, but whoever creating like this kind of application, right? Whoever the owner of, they are first paying the money, then they can able to access that like services to third party people, another people, right? So
Hello, Ravi.
yeah.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
So after redirecting from this third-party service to any money transaction app
Sorry.
like uh, like
yeah.
this make my trip to Google Pay.
Hmm.
After successful transaction, we are redirecting again to our main application, that is make my trip. So how it is authenticating at that time?
See, like whenever you are taking the services, means just you think about that you are the owner of some application, right? Just you are the owner of your application, right? In that business to business, you are developing your one e-commerce website. Just assume that you have one e-commerce website, right? In your application, two things need, right? Just assume that your businesses is running business to business also, as well as what business to client also, right? So wherever the same application, in the application, if you want to give this like our client, right? 1 minute, I'm thinking the business to client communication is there. In that, browser will involve. In that, what is that? Browser will involve. If business to business communication is there, right? If business to business communication is there, in that situation, what is that? Two people application is include sorry, two application will communicate to each other in this situation, right? So what is that? This consumer person will go, hey, like this producer, hey, I want to access your services, right? I want to access your services. So some rules and guidelines will be there, right? Then what is that? He will provide, okay, I will give my services, you can follow these rules and guidelines and develop our own API. Who can able to access my services, who can able to access my application services, right? Then what is that? And this much money if you pay, because if I'm giving the services, you need to pay this much money. Then what is that? This person will pay this money, and what is that? And he find out some developer a person, right, who can develop based on his documentation guidelines, the API. That API can able to access, right, these services. This services means this application services. So here what is that? After then what is that? Whenever he can make the request, he will provide one authentication, is nothing but username and password. So this consumer, whenever this consumer is hitting the request, right, then what will happen now? Just it will check this whatever request is coming, that request is valid request or not, who can where I can give the my services. Just it will check this application, means this provider will check the credit request. Okay, so just assume that this is the book my show application is there. Okay, he given the he sorry, this book my service so application is registered in his server. Okay, okay, this request is this HTTP URL is coming valid URLs, means what? Valid URL, whatever access permission is given, sorry, access URL credential is given, right, means this application, this request is authenticated request. Then what is that? He will give the services. Okay, no issue, this request is valid request. Then what is that? Use my services and utilize in your application. After utilizing that, what is that? This connection will destroy. This connection will destroy because this application is not remembering his data. I will tell, more clarity will come again, right? Stateless, stateful, just say I started, right? Just I started. So
Okay,
so after using that services, what will happen? Here what? Here the HTTP request will destroy directly. There is no concept to storing the data here, right? So that concept only called what? That concept only called what? Stateless behavior. Means what is that? Consumer has to get what is that? Get verified by provider. When this person can access that, when that person can access, if this server, means this book my show application is making the request, right, then what is that? Our producer will verify this request is verified or not. If verified, then only this server application can access these services. Then how this one can verify? How producer can verify? based on that, whatever credential he provide, based on that credential only he can this application can able to verify. Means what? This producer will provide one username and password, to this application. That if we are developing this kind of application, that application is called what? Business to business application. That application is called what? Business to business application. If we are developing, what is that? If our application is interacting with what? Browser to server, that application is called, what is that? Client to business to client, or client to business to client communication. That is called what? Business to client communication, right? So that one only. Consumer has to get verified verified by what? Producer before, right? Before request process, right? So that is called what? Only what is that? When this things is possible, only authentication. Here what is it? Only authentication required. Only authentication. No data store. No data store in the server 2, right? Server 2 is nothing but what? Producer side. No data will store. Only verified by, what is that? Consumer. Do not store data, its data. Only this one here, what? This application will verify only credential only. Okay, this credential is valid, but the data will not store here. The data will not store, because here in this communication, what is that? We are not giving full services of our application. Full services only, what is that? Those area we are giving, right? Those area, 1 or 2 area we are giving to access for the consumer. Clear?
Yes, Ravi, sir.
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah. So now don't worry, more clarity will come, friends, right? More clarity. I know that still theory is going on now. Once we will implement, right, one project now, in the project, once we will implement, then the everything will clear. I know that in the stateless, stateful, little bit more theory is there, because